So today we're going to talk about when taxes are due every year. So let's start with individual income taxes. These are filed on Form 1040 and they're due on the 15th day after the third month of every year. Since 12/31 is the year end, that means your taxes are due on April 15th of every year. However, every taxpayer has the option to file a 6-month extension if they need extra time to file their taxes. Now, the extension allows for additional time to gather documentation, but if you expect to owe taxes, you should make a payment on or before April 15th when you file your extension to ensure that you avoid paying penalties and interest on a late payment. The extension is an extension to file the tax return, not to pay the tax owed. So for a sole proprietor business, the summary of your income and expenses is filed on Schedule C within your individual income tax return. So that filing is due April 15th. If you're a single member LLC, you're considered a disregarded entity in the IRS's eyes. So the summary of your income and expenses is also filed on Schedule C within your individual income tax return, Form 1040. So that's all due April 15th. If you're a C Corp, you're a corporation. The corporate income tax return, Form 1120, is due also on the 15th day after the third month of every calendar or fiscal year. So business entities that are a C corporation have the option to choose the year end that best aligns with their business, whether that's due to seasonality of work or the dates that income is earned. Some businesses choose to have a different year end other than 12/31. However, most corporations choose to have a 12/31 year end. The reason corporate income tax returns are due on the same day as personal income tax returns is because tax is paid by the business on business profits. All other business entities except for C corporations don't pay any income tax at the business level and pass all of the income on to the owners, which requires the business produce a K-1 that represents the owner's share of the profits. So those returns, the pass-through entity returns, are due a month earlier than the personal income tax returns to allow the business owners time to input the information into their return. So a partnership tax return is an example of one of these pass-through entities. A partnership return is filed on Form 1065 and it's due on the 15th day after the second month of every calendar or fiscal year end. So this is usually March 15th every year. And while no federal income tax is owed at the business level, the early timeline allows the owner to take the K-1 that's generated within the 1065 and use it to put on their individual income tax return. Another pass-through entity is an S corporation. An S corporation files on Form 1120S. This is also due on the 15th day after the second month of every calendar year end, also usually March 15th. And while no federal tax is owed at the business level, the early timeline allows the owner to take the K-1 that's generated within their 1120S and use that to put on their individual income tax return. So in summary, your personal or individual tax return is due on April 15th of every year. If you own an S Corp or a partnership, you want to make sure you get that return filed by March 15th of every year. You'll then take the K-1 that's produced from within that 1120S or 1065, and that'll be input on your individual income tax return so that you pay tax on those profits. And you do have the option to extend a business return for an additional 6 months. If you found this video helpful, we're real accountants and CPAs who work with hundreds of small business owners just like you every day. Check us out at engagecpas.com to see if we're a good fit for your business. We also have business courses available to help small business owners understand their business. They're for you to learn about your financials, your taxes, how to pick the right entity, tax myths, and everything else about your business. Learn at your own pace. Check those courses out on the Education tab on our website. You can also find us on Instagram at Engage CPAs.